perfect, holy innocence of love. Accept this state of being. Accept this truth that has always been. You have never been anything else. And that is the unlearning of this lifetime and every lifetime. To accept your innocence, your brilliance, your perfection, your heart, the light and love that you are, is to stand in the light and accept that nothing else can be true. The world that everyone is living in, the temporary, says we are influenced, we are subject to, we are answering to the rules of the world. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is such a deep and powerful learning that everything that has been learned in this world is for your unlearning, to unlearn what is seemingly your identity, to unlearn the past and all that you thought it meant, all that you thought was true about you. It's now to let it go, surrendering it all, and opening to the divine presence that is within. Every moment is that learning, and every moment is the unlearning. When I refer to this earth plane as the schoolroom of love, it truly is. It has no other real purpose. Whatever you may have thought was being accomplished or needed, if it is not coming from love, it has no meaning. It has no purpose. Can everything come with love? Absolutely. Whether it's fixing a meal, or it's going to the store, or it's becoming a scientist, if there isn't love there, it has no meaning, has no purpose. The only purpose that it will have is as a vehicle of learning love, of learning the truth, and coming home to the truth of God, reuniting, even though you've never been separated. But if you're not aware and living in the truth of your being, there's a coming home. And it's the yearning within every heart to return to peace, to return to harmony, to return to the magnificence of all creation in love, the truth of love. In this moment, the willingness to recognize here in this third dimension, within form, we don't know. And what a fantastic gift that is, to not know. Because in the not knowing, the doors and windows open, And in the not knowing, truth can come through. You've opened the space, you've opened the door, and in your not knowing, love can reveal itself. Love can tell you of itself. And as it tells you of itself, it is telling you about you, not the you that you think you are, the divine spirit of love that is waiting to unite with all love itself. One spirit, one heart, one life. That is the returning. Allow in this moment that willingness of not knowing. Empty yourself as best you can in this moment, dropping into a resting in God and allowing that in that not knowing space, the Spirit of love will open that communion. And that communion will be remembered. You will feel the familiar. You will recognize the ancient memory. Allow it. Allow it to take you. What the ego would like to do with that communication is the ego would like to tell the Spirit of love what it knows. It would like to be the communicator. And we can all laugh at the arrogance of the ego that would do so, that would engage the Spirit of love in a conversation. And the conversation would say, let me tell you how it is. Let me tell you everything I know. And the Spirit of love will just wait and wait and wait until the ego has run out of words. And then it will find you, the truth of you. And it will commune with that truth that is within you. When the ego has exhausted itself from all that it thought it knew. Bring yourself empty. And you will not have to wait for the ego to exhaust itself. You will come empty and allow the communication, the communion, to have its way. No one is ever disappointed in listening to love. And no one in their right mind could in any way want to correct the Spirit of love, to put them right. And yet, that is what everyone is doing in the everyday life when they're not listening to the guidance of love. Basically listening to the ego. And the ego is saying to the Holy Spirit, I got this. I know what I'm doing here. But in your right mind, you will beg to differ. And you will slip into the pocket of the Spirit of love. Say, I'm staying here. I'm staying here with the truth. I'm staying here with harmony. I'm staying here with light and joy. I'm staying here where I belong. And I'll let the ego babble on someplace else. In this moment, we affirm that this universe is all love, that this sanctuary is filled with love because nothing else exists, and that the life force of God is all that exists. And we live within that life force as one heart, one life. There's nothing to get. Everything is already within, and the acceptance of that holy place here in the heart. Allow. Allow. Allow this prayer to open your heart further and to drop in to the exquisite rhythm of peace. Nothing to do, nothing to get, just be present here and allow. Feel your tenderness, I feel your tenderness. I feel your tenderness of your ever-loving hand. I feel your tenderness. I feel your tenderness. I feel the tenderness from deep within. I feel your mercy, Lord. I feel the mercy, Lord. I feel the mercy, Lord, of your ever-loving hand. I feel your mercy, Lord. I feel your mercy, Lord. I feel the mercy, Lord, from deep within. I see your beauty, Lord. I see your beauty, Lord. I see the beauty, Lord, of your ever-loving hand. I see the beauty, Lord. I see the beauty, Lord. I see the beauty, Lord, from deep within. I sense your truth, O Lord. I sense the truth, O Lord. I sense the truth, O Lord, of your ever-loving hand. I sense the truth, O Lord. I sense the truth, O Lord. I sense the truth, O Lord, from deep within. Deep within everything. Holy, holy, holy. The power of the divine Holy Spirit of love, and our Blessed Mother. Open to the power of the divine that comes to celebrate within our hearts. Here in this mission, everyone is called to see and to hear what the Holy Spirit brings and to accept this love. And now, the time has arrived. It is the hour for love to shine. In this moment, all of love is shining, radiating in truth. This is the new mission that now I have come to fulfill, to bring healing to all beloveds, the well-being of truth and love and light. We are here forever to sing, to praise, to connect with all divine beings. Holy, holy, holy. This is the truth of love here in this moment for all to remember and to embrace truth. For all forever to sing, to bring adoration and celebration to the truth of love. Santo, 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 o poder de nosso Pai, o Divino Espírito Santo e a Virgem nossa Mãe. E o poder de nosso Pai que vem celebrar dentro dos corações, aqui nesta missão. Há que ver, há que ouvir, que o Divino Espírito Santo a trazer os corações. E agora chegou a batalha e a hora do amor para resplandecer. Esta é a missão que agora venho cumprir, trazer aos meus irmãos o bem-estar da salvação. Para todos para sempre cantar, para louvar e durar a Jesus Salvador. Santo, 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 esta casa do Santo Cruzeiro, para todos pedir o perdão e alcançar a salvação. Para todos para sempre cantar, adorar e louvar a Jesus Salvador. Every time these hymns are sung, the beings that brought them come with the hymn itself. So now the room is filled with divine beings that answer the call of what is really being asked for. To learn to adore, to learn to accept all beloveds as one, to learn the way of love and to walk the way of love, moment to moment, always praising and recognizing the power of God in every moment. Holy, holy, holy. Unnameable God, I feel you with me in every moment. You are my food, my drink, my sunlight, and the air that I breathe. You are the ground that I have built on and the beauty that rejoices in my heart. I give thanks to you at all times for lifting me from my confusion, for teaching me in the dark and showing me the path of life. I have come to the center of the universe. I rest in your perfect love. And in your presence there is a fullness of joy and a blessedness forever. This calling in this prayer says you can live here and you will live here. This is not a place of a pipe dream. This is not an idea that stays separate. This is a declaration of your true nature and returning to that true nature. Taking every spiritual teaching of truth and embracing it so deeply that it becomes embedded in your system. And that every day becomes the declaration of, this is all that I want. This is what I'm here for. This is my purpose. And this is my journey. And I say yes to every moment of it. And I trust as I walk in this journey that I will be held, that I will be guided, that I will be blessed beyond comprehension through the truth of love. As all of the lies and false identities start to unravel and fall away as we say yes. The grace of God is given to you. Claim it. Claim it now. Don't be shy. Don't be reserved in claiming that love that is yours, that is you. Embrace it. Live with it. And accept that you come to God because this is where you belong, where you truly live. It's your natural place with God. God is within you. God is everything that you are and everything that is created. Embrace the power of God within your heart and rest there. Rest in the truth of that communion. Imagination does not exist. For me and for the one who is one with God, imagination does not exist. Whatever you might be able to do in a dream or in thought or fantasy, I could literally pull from my pocket or just make appear in my hand. What kind of world is this, then, that we live in? It has been make-believe since the beginning and does not know any other way to act. And all that you're being called to is to recognize that everything that is temporary is exactly that, temporary, and it will disappear. It will change because it is not the permanence of love. The form that you see that shifts and changes, within that form is the light of God. But all that is temporary that surrounds it will fall away. And the light, the love, will still be there. And that light and that love is you. You are that light that shines as the sun. You are the light that the moon offers. You are every star that's in the sky as light. This isn't too much. It isn't grandiose as an idea. It is the humility of love that says, yes, I am the light of God. I accept it. I accept it, and I want to be taken and shown the mysteries of truth so that I can open my heart and let it all in as one heart. What kind of world is this that we live in? A made-up one from the mind that is make-believe since the beginning. And at some point, you will look at that illusion and you will declare your happiness that you were mistaken about what you thought you knew. There is this great joy in the recognition of, I'm so glad I was mistaken. I'm so glad I wasn't right. Because love is so exquisite, so all-encompassing, that nothing touches it. It's beyond anything that could be thought of. So it's that opening of love, and to keep bringing it. But how do we come to the place of acceptance? Every sacred teaching calls to the same place: the unlearning, the rejection of what's been made up, and the willingness to accept only love. If we hold a teaching in its divinity, in its depth of truth, and we accept it wholeheartedly, we don't try to parse it, we don't try to understand it even, we accept it. We accept it, we drink it in as deeply as possible. We take it as the medicine of transformation. And we take those truths and we learn to live them. So if a truth is, what I think I know merely binds me to illusion. If this truth opens your heart and heals, then let it be that you take it so completely that it becomes the medicine, that it is your food and drink, as if you were in the desert and had nothing. You take it so fully because you're so hungry for the truth. You're so hungry for what will help you navigate back into love. So what does it mean to accept that whatever it is that I think I know merely binds me to illusion? When you have a teaching that holds you and, in a sense, confronts you with reality, When I think on my own and I think I know, I am not available for love. I'm not available to go deeper. I'm not available except to the illusions that I've already made. Where are these illusions? Everyone carries them deeply in their identity and the entire past. How many pasts have you lived? 10,000 or 100? It doesn't make any difference. But once you realize that what you think you know can only come from the past, and it can only be an illusion that is binding you, can you open and realize, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to look on any situation with clarity, with truth. I don't know how to recognize what is really here. I don't know the true meaning of anything that I'm looking at. This is not a condemnation. This is not saying you haven't done a very good job with your life. This is the medicine that takes you to your true life, to the truth of who you are, and evaporates, absolutely evaporates the lies. How do we heal? This being did not heal by my hand. I did not heal by knowing. To surrender into the hands of God is to accept the healing power of the universe. And if that sounds too big, too impossible, no. To have your life disappear and be so glad that it did, there is no way that this identity could have disappeared the life. It's not possible. This was the power of God. The power of God that wants you to remember the truth. And that healing power has to be invited. Take my life, take everything that I know, take my world that I made, and let it disappear. Let the world that I made disappear so that I can see and be in the truth of the world of love. Is there a way of knowing what that's going to look like? No, not at all. Faith is essential. Faith is essential in the grand scheme of everything, of healing, of complete healing. It's faith. But faith is also so absolutely necessary in the everyday, ordinary walking within the world and learning the truth of love. Because all day long, you are perceiving through your senses what you think you know. You think what you see is a fact. You think that what you feel is a fact. And you believe the meaning that you have given to that moment. What is not really an awareness is that all the meaning that you have given to it has come from the past. You have recycled the past. The past beliefs are now coming into the future. And then the sameness is there again and again. And love calls to disavow that cycle, that game that the ego plays of recycling the past. There's no one that walks a spiritual journey that doesn't want to remember love, oneness. But how can you remember it when your mind is filled with the past? So every day is this opportunity of not knowing. I don't know. That sounds somewhat ominous, somewhat like a big task. You have no idea where that not knowing goes. It goes to the depth of every single belief in this world. And it's necessary. But it's not dangerous. It's not a burden, and it's not going to take you somewhere that isn't absolutely perfect. Every single time you let go, even just in the day when you're letting go and you're surrendering a situation into the hands of God and saying, I don't know what is best here. I don't know how this should look. How would I know? And the Holy Spirit leads and shows what is most helpful in this moment. And you receive the awareness that this moment was blessed and filled with grace. Not necessarily that the situation was good. Not necessarily that you like the outcome. The letting go of likes and dislikes and the ideas of good and bad and right and wrong, all of it is opening to the divine that transforms. Transformation has no good or bad. It is perfect. It is true, but there's no good or bad to it. There's no right or wrong. And you're not bringing with you any identity. What happens to this identity you made? Where does it go? What do you do with it? It disappears. It absolutely disappears. And there's not even any recollection of it as your story. What if you have no story? Do you think you're going to miss it? I promise you, you will not miss the story that you made. The story that you made says limitation, limitation, limitation. Difficulty, difficulty, difficulty. Struggle, struggle, struggle. Likes and dislikes. All of it. No longer even attractive. Imagine your life when you realize that you have no needs of anything. Everything is already within you. What is your relationship then to the world? If you have no needs of the world, what is the world for? What is it? What is your relationship with it? It's returning to oneness and the realization that you are here to love. You are here to offer love. It's not to get love. It's to offer love. At first, the idea of just offering love isn't even interesting. Like, well, what do I get out of this? If I'm just offering love, What's the payoff? I'm giving everything away. I'm not thinking that I need anything. What is that? The healing through the power of love leaves you with the awareness and the truth that you are the radiating light of God, that you are the innocence, the perfection. When Jesus walked this earth for the purpose of service to love, there was not one thought, and you could say the same thing about Buddha, you could say the same thing of every master that walked before. There was not one thought of, well, what am I going to get out of this? Am I at least going to become exalted in my identity? No. No, there's no exaltation in the identity. It's love. It's love, and to be able to offer that love is the most exquisite element of being. There's nothing else. It's because you're returning, you're bringing everything back into the oneness. There's no stranger. There's no one to get to know. It's the purity of love that is here and needs no introduction, needs no commonality. How many times have you believed that when you met somebody that you had to find what you had in common? Oh, do you like dogs? What kind of car do you have? Or even, where are you from? How old are you? What have you done? None of it has any meaning to it. You're meeting the divine. You're meeting the Christ light. You've known them forever. You're not meeting them like you've never known them. You're meeting them as, there you are. There you are. This heart has been one forever. Now, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily going up to somebody and gushing and saying, I know you forever. They may run the other direction. But your heart is completely enraptured with every beloved. And the journey is the coming home, returning to oneness, returning to your true nature, being one. Imagination does not exist. What would it hang on to? What are the fantasies for, except as a distraction to say you're going to make something up so that you feel better about your life? Come home. Come home to love, because there's nothing holding you from all love. What happens to your past? Where do you go that leaves the past behind? Forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to leaving the past. That every beloved that you walked with in all your past lives, and most of them were just repeats. You know, you lived with the beloved who came as your mother this lifetime, and that was your cousin in a past lifetime. It's all the same beings of love. And what are they to you? They're not roles. They're not identities. They're your heart. They're you. They're God. Open and see their spirit, because nothing else has any value. What is it that pulls us toward another? The calling to serve love. The calling to serve love calls to each beloved that we meet. It doesn't matter if it's someone that you may know for 10 minutes, a minute, in physical form, doesn't matter. They are forever one with you, forever. And it just is. Open that door to the truth of love. So what stands in the way? The belief, one of the major beliefs that is agreed through all of humanity, is the belief that you can be unfairly treated. How much unfairly treated is seen in this world? It's every day. It's the mind that is saying, I am judging by what you offer me. You owe me. You owe me because someone didn't give me something back here. And now I'm owed, and I expect you to give it to me. This is so much pain. This is the pain of separation. It has no truth in it, has no reality, but it's done in a trance over and over and over again. And how do you step out of the trance? The habits. By stopping and asking, what is your will for me now? Show me the way. Teach me how to be in this schoolroom of love and learn to love. I'm willing. Is this devotion beyond what you believe your capacity is? I remember the first time that I was in a spiritual path, and all these beloveds were praying all the time. And I thought to myself, look, I can't do that. I don't want to do that, but I can't do that. I have a life to live. Well, it didn't take very long before I was praying all the time. Because it opened a door, and that prayer said, I now realize that there's another purpose, and I know now what it is that I want. I want to remember. I want to let go of this lifetime and come home to peace, come home to joy, come home to harmony. Why would you want to come home if it wasn't to joy and peace and harmony? If it was to judgment, would you want to come home? No way. Why would you? You can do that here. Everybody's doing it now. It's all judgment. But there is no judgment in God. There is no judgment in love. So imagine that you will never have another judgment, and you will never be judged, because judgment does not exist. Opinions, assessments, however, whatever label you want to put on what judgment is. Observations, that's another good name for a judgment. But feel the release and the relief of never having to judge and never to be judged. That you have done nothing that changes the truth of love. And to forgive yourself for believing that you were separate and that you did anything. Everyone carries the agreed on burden of guilt and shame. It's the ego's favorite defense system. All you have to do is enter into shame and guilt, and it's all very familiar, and it holds you like a prisoner, and you can't find love. in that state. And that's the ego's intention, shame and guilt. I said to a beloved one day, they were in reaction, and in their reaction they said, well, now I'm filled with shame and guilt. And I could almost hear them saying, thanks a lot. And I said, really? You really want that shame and guilt? You chose it. You're choosing it. It's habit. You're familiar with it. What do you think it's doing for you? And why are you choosing it? To have shame and guilt? Well, it never occurred to them that they were choosing it. And it never occurred that it was a defense system to love. That if you are allowing shame and guilt to run, you're saying no to love. You're saying no to harmony and peace. And there is nothing to have shame and guilt about. You've done nothing. But if you have done nothing, then no one has done anything. So both sides of the equation have to be surrendered and forgiven. No one can take anything from you that is true and real. No one. It's only by the choice that you make in a moment that says unconsciously, I want to suffer. I'm going to suffer in this moment because it's what I know. I'm going to worry about it while I suffer. And the whole time, the Spirit of Love is whispering to you, this is not necessary. This need not be. There's no redeeming value in this at all. Nothing. The belief that you have to suffer is directly correlated with the belief that sin is real, that you are sinful, that you have done something. And can you be so humble as to laugh at that and refuse that anything has happened or it means anything? Everyone carries shame and guilt in this world. You can look at the past and you go, oh gosh, I can't believe I did that, and I did this, and I did this, and they're all secrets, and I'm holding them. All my hateful thoughts, all my jealousies, all my pride, all my cheating, all my narcissism, all of it. None of it's true. And you have done nothing. Does it have to leave? Yeah, you can't bring it with you into the light. It's made up. It doesn't exist. And the purpose of this time, this life, is to heal, is to remember. Why is there a poem that says imagination does not exist? Only because imagination is a drug. It's a drug that the ego uses to imagine fantasy and rescue and winning and proving. That's what imagination is for. No one uses fantasy to say, I'm going to fantasize about being the poorest person in the world. I'm going to fantasize about being completely unloved. Those are your fantasies, but that's not what you fantasize about. It's what you believe, but it's not the truth. And to let your imagination go and to open to the truth is your loving offering to yourself. There was a beloved who said the other day, I'm learning to love myself. And I said, yes, how is that? How is it that you're learning to love yourself? And they had an answer. I'm stopping and I'm being nice to myself. I said, there's only one way to love yourself, and that's to accept the truth. To deny the lies of the past is loving. It's how you offer love to yourself. It's kindness, it's compassion, it's love. When you deny the lies of your mind, when you deny that you are better or less, or have something that you're going to be able to prove in this lifetime, or win, or get, all of it, there's no love there. And when you deny those lies of the past, that is your demonstration of love. When you deny the past, you are stepping into the vibration of the Christ energy. You are walking with the one who is known as Jesus. You are walking with the one known as Buddha. You're walking with all divine beings that affirm your only love. And to deny the past, deny your wrongdoings, is not a shy place. It's not a place of secret where you're quietly, secretly conversing with God and saying, yeah, take this and take this and take this. No, stand in the light and declare, I have done nothing. I am the light of God, not the I that you think you are. The I am, the universe. And you declare it, you own it, because it's the truth. You don't shy away from it. And this is not arrogance. This is humility. Because everything is upside down in the world. When you declare yourself to be wounded, when you declare yourself to be lacking, when you declare yourself to be fearful, whatever it is, that's actually the arrogance of the ego. When you declare that you are the light of God and you accept it, that is humility, because it's the truth. It's not something that you're using to say, hey, look at me, I'm the light of God. Aren't you impressed? No. It's the love that reaches out to every beloved and says, this is you too. This is what you are. And then you hold it for them. You hold it for them until they're ready to accept it. That is the divine purpose. How do you hold that for someone? You see nothing else in them except their innocence. You bless them. You hold them in the light. And when you hold them in the light, the miracle of love opens for them too. And they have the opportunity of healing. You have that much power within the truth. It's not for experimenting. It's not for proving your worth. You have no worth to prove. It is because love has to extend itself. Love has to be offered. It can't just be held. It can't. It's not possible for love to stay contained. Love expands. The universe expands all the time. And you must expand that love because it's the natural state of it. And you can't help anymore but to recognize the beauty and the perfection in each beloved, even when they are denying it through their behaviors, through their fears, through whatever it is. You just hold that love. Hold it for them until they're ready to hold it for themselves. And you will bring the miracle of love to everyone that you offer that love to. But first, you have to accept it for yourself. You have to accept it. And the acceptance of love is still the not knowing. How would I know what love was? I begged for love. I pleaded for love. I wanted the medicine to bring me to love. I had not a clue what love was. But thank God, all of the divine beings who offer help to remember, they all know. They lead the way and take you back to love. And it becomes simple. If you're not at peace, there's no love. Can you be at peace all the time? Absolutely. Can you be at peace through healing? Yes. It's not that easy, but it's totally possible. The only thing that stands in the way of it is the remembering and the identity with the body. Because the body says there's energy running. The body says there's disturbance. The body says, I don't like this, I do like this is scary, this I don't like. But it's not actually the body that's saying that. It's the mind that is pouring all of these thoughts into the body and for your distraction. The ego wants you to be distracted. It wants you to be paying attention to the disturbance instead of, I'm going to keep my attention completely on the truth of love. Completely. And the spirit of love will give you teachings and lessons that will demonstrate that for you. That you will learn to stay focused on the truth of love even while you're shaking and quaking. Even while something is healing within you and you can feel the disturbance of it and the movement of it, you stay focused. And you appreciate with gratitude the healing that is being offered, that you're in. I remember when I was in the deepest parts of healing, not that there were any shallow parts, but the deepest part, and I would go to work on Monday after being in a deep squeeze all weekend. And somebody at work would say, how was your weekend? Mm-hmm. And I would say, it was lovely. What I wanted to say was, oh, I was just torn to bits and had to find my way to put back together enough that I could eat or sleep because everything was being ripped into shreds. And welcoming it even when you have no idea what's going to be left. And the only way that you can have an idea of what's going to be left is by looking at the teachers and masters that have been sent to you, whether in form or not in form, and feel their vibration of peace in their beautiful state of love. And allowing that love to teach you. To teach you that it's totally possible to be in the middle of what seems like chaos and that you are having no effect from it. That you can be in the eye of the hurricane and everything around you is spinning and trashing itself, and you are at peace in the middle. because your faith is holding you in peace. Your faith, your trust in the teachings of love says, this is where my faith belongs. This is what I put my attention on. This is what I want. And trusting it completely, or as deeply as you possibly can. No lack, no doubt. And even when the doubt comes up, you come back as quickly as possible to love, to the willingness to be shown a new way, and trusting. And each moment brings you closer and closer without you even realizing that there is a closer and closer. Because for most of the time, there's no evidence of change. You have little bits and little increments here and there. And then all of a sudden, something just drops away. Some part of your identity just is gone. You don't even know where it went. But the divine physician transformed it, and it's gone. When I was in fear with panic attacks and believing in them that it was all true, I was healed of those panic attacks. I couldn't have healed that. I'm not saying it couldn't have gone away in some way, some practice or something, but this was gone. And what it was, the panic attacks came from seeing the mind, not even realizing that there was pictures running across the mind all the time of torture and of pain and suffering and imprisonment, and it was just running back and forth, and it was gone. And it was one of those elements that you don't know it's there until it's gone, and it was gone. I didn't do that. I asked, I begged, I prayed, please take me out of this torture chamber that I know I've made. And the benevolence of love transformed. Now that was just one element of healing, but it was magnificent. And then it continued. The healing continued. Don't deny the healing, and don't try to control it. You cannot control the transformation of love. You have to give yourself to it. You have to get into the boat and let the boat go and allow it. That's the faith that is absolutely necessary. But that faith also is part of love. The faith actually enhances the truth of love, because it's connecting you all the time to what you truly want and what is really there. And once you have enough faith, the door opens and faith gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And it is blind faith. Blind in the sense that you can't know what's going to occur. You can't know what it's going to be like. You can't know how the healing is going to occur. But it does. And you hold a faith that it is going to heal, and that it is what God's will is for you to remember. Remembering, remembering, remembering. Every moment. What kind of world is this, then, that we live in? For me and for the one who is one with God, imagination does not exist. You won't miss it. You will not miss your fantasy exploitations. Because the truth is that when you come home to love, there is nothing that touches it. There is nothing that you are wanting ever again. You are at peace because there's nothing wanting. And what else do you want but to be with the divine and to be in the divine? That's all that there is. Let love lead. Let faith lead. Let the truth of God have its way with you. Humpty Dumpty on the wall, let it crash. Be happy when Humpty Dumpty falls off the wall and it's you. Be happy that it crashes and you can't put it back together again. It's the blessing. Be so happy that you fell off the wall and that your persona, your identity just crashed. Celebrate it. Don't worry. You will not be left without. When you doubt, ask yourself, has God changed its mind about me? And the answer is absolutely not. There is no changing of mind in God. That is only in this ego-centered existence that the mind changes and can condemn and can be upset and can dislike. Only love, only truth. This is all that there is. Let go of the imagination. The truth is so much more than anything you could imagine. Go beyond the imagining of this world being better to the world of complete light and love. It's all that there is. And there is only this one heart, one life, nothing else.